In 1 Corinthians chapter 11, Paul describes what that is, what the symbols mean, and how that we are to partake of it and remember Jesus and the suffering on the cross. But I'm going to read from a different place this morning. I'm going to choose John chapter 13. And this is something that Jesus wanted to teach to his disciples. He knew his time was near, that he was about to depart. So Jesus knew that this was much needed. Verse 1, chapter 13 of John. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God, was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, do you wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "What I am doing you do not understand now, but you will understand afterwards." Peter said to him, "You shall never wash my feet." Just to pause just for a moment right there. Jesus said, "You don't understand what I'm doing." And Peter's statement saying that you will never wash my feet just proved that Jesus was right. Peter didn't understand what Jesus was doing. Jesus answered him, "If I do not wash you, you have no share with me." I think there are many lessons that we can draw from that line, but there's two main thoughts that I want to bring out at this point. We know that the washing of feet has to do with servitude toward one another, how we are to treat each other, do for each other, look out for each other's needs. But Jesus' answer back to Peter when he said, "You're not going to wash my feet. If I do not wash you, you have no share with me." I think that Jesus was also trying to show that it's not about just washing his feet, it's about washing his whole body. Referring to the death and the resurrection and the sacrifice for the sins that he was fixing to make. "Peter, if you don't allow me to wash you, you have no part with me." Now, Peter, being a man of good conscience and wanting to follow God, here's what he says. Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "The one who is bathed does not need to wash, except for his feet, but is completely clean, and you are clean, but not every one of you." For he knew who was to betray him. That was why he said, "Not all of you are clean." When he had washed their feet, he put on his outer garments and resumed his place. He said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you also should do just as I have done to you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them." If you will bow with me, we will give thanks for the bread at this time before we partake.
His love can fill your soul.